So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss an important topic in physics. What is actually that is not a topic, a single topic that includes entire physics in this topic only. So, what this topic is? The topic is importance of calculus in physics. So, guys, those students who know who don't have any idea of calculus, they can ask the question, sir, why in physics we required calculus and other aspects of mathematics. So, for those students, this video is very helpful. As well as those students who know the calculus importance in physics, they also will learn many things in this lecture. So, we will start, guys. The remarkable progress that has been made in science, guys. This remarkable progress in science and technology during last few centuries is due to development of mathematics. Believe me or not, if mathematics is not developed too much, we don't have enough discoveries and inventions what we have right now. So the branch of mathematics, especially we focus in this lecture, is integral and differential calculus, which serves to understand some facts and phenomena of nature, as well as in order to solve variety of problems arises in physics, astronomy, engineering, chemistry, geology, biology, and other field, including some portion of social science nowadays, guys, like economics, etc. So what is the role of calculus in mechanics? Like, guys, you all know that mechanics starts in class 9. Mechanics start with motion chapter. So, guys, all equation of motion like v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, all can be derived with the help of this calculus. Let me tell you some examples so that how you can understand this equation of motion with calculus. So, guys, I have written here dv by dt, rate of change of velocity is acceleration. Now, guys, what I have done, I have just taken this dt right side here. So this is a dt and this is dv, and on integrating, you know the limit is u to v. Dv is equal to integration of a dt. Now I can say that, guys, when you integrate is integration of x to the power 0 dx is equal to x to the power 0 plus 1 upon 0 plus 1 is x. Means integration of dx I can write is x only. So integration of dv is v, integration of dt is t. So v minus u, because upper limit when you put v and lower limit you put u, v minus u is equal to a into t. So v is equal to u plus at. Suppose, guys, if you have to calculate, if they have given velocity, if they have given displacement is equal to 2t square plus 7t plus 5, and you have to calculate velocity after 5 seconds. So you will take this relation dv ds by dt is equal to v. So differentiating ds by dt, so differentiation of 2t square is 4t and differentiation of 7t is 7, and differentiation of this 5 is constant, there is 0, differentiation of constant is 0. Now put the value of t is equal to 5, guys, here, because at 5 seconds you have to calculate at 5 seconds. So 4 into 5 is 20 plus 7. So 27 per meter per second is your answer. Now, guys, after this, area under the curve can be calculated with the help of integration. Like area under velocity time graph gives you displacement. Area under any graph gives you something which is calculated by integral method. See how? I have taken a curve, arbitrary curve f of x, y is equal to this, y is equal to f of x. Now I have taken a strip, guys, here of dx, and just I have written f of x dx, and integrating it from the lower limit to upper limit of the graph, you will get the value of this area under the graph. So area can be calculated as graphical method, and the area requires integration. Okay, guys, now whenever acceleration is a function of time, means acceleration is not constant, so integral method is used to solve the equation. I'll tell you that don't use the method of equation of motion to solve the question where acceleration is not constant. That's why I have taken this as a note, guys. When acceleration is not constant, don't use equation of motion, use integral method to solve it. In Newton's law of motion, guys, you know that rate of change of momentum is proportional to external applied force. So dp by dt is equal to proportional to f external. And that is why guys, actually here differentiation of momentum is required to get the external force. In circular motion, as you all know that this theta can be written as s by r. So if I can write s is equal to guys r theta, because to take these things, s is equal to r theta, ds by dt I can write is nothing but r d theta by dt. You know that ds by dt is the v and d theta by dt is omega. So v is equal to r omega, that I have written here guys. ds by dt is equal to r d theta by dt on differentiating both sides with respect to time. So ds by dt is equal to r d theta by dt. So v is equal to r omega, because this is omega guys and this is v. So v is equal to r omega. I can say that actually v is equal to omega cross r, since r and omega, see guys, this is radius vector I have taken outside, like this is velocity vector, they are making an angle 90 degree always. So v cross r, so suppose guys this is anti-clockwise, the particle is moving, so omega is towards up the plane z axis, omega is towards z axis, and r is always guys radius vector. Suppose particle is moving like this, so radius vector is always tangentially like this, radius vector is always like this. So this vector along either x axis or y axis, but omega is towards z axis guys. So I can say that they are always perpendicular. Since omega and r are always perpendicular, that is omega r sine 90, which is nothing but omega into r only. So that is v is equal to omega r, always you use. Now guys, calculation for centripetal force F is equal to mv square by r can be done using differentiation method. That I will discuss separately when I will discuss circular motion. So I am not going to cover this point right now. In work energy chapter, work done by the spring can be calculated by, or work done by some variable force can be calculated by this integration method. So see how guys, you know that it was first Hooke said that F is proportional to minus x, where x is compression or elongation in the spring, and proportionality constant is k, which is known as force constant or spring constant also. So this k I have written guys fx dx, because fx dx integration, you know that w na, so that is guys I have written minus kx into dx. I have taken minus k outside. Integration of x is x square by 2, limit from initial to final, x initial to x final. So this is a minus half k x final square minus x initial square. This minus I have kept inside, so this will be minus x final square plus x initial square. So that is work done by the spring is equal to k final, I am writing work done by the spring is k by 2 x initial square minus x final square. Also you know that guys, F for conservative forces, potential energy is defined, and potential energy, rate of change of potential energy is F. So guys, F can be written as minus del by del x of ux I cap minus del by del y of uy j cap minus del by del z of uz k cap. This you can use. We have seen some question based on this formula also. Even work energy theorem for variable forces can be explained with the integration. Earlier what we have done guys, we have written v square is equal to u square plus 2as, that I have discussed in class. V square minus u square is equal to 2as, multiplying both side by half m. You know that this is guys final kinetic energy, ke final minus ke initial, half mu square is initial kinetic energy, and 2 and 2 cancel. This is force into displacement is equal to total work done by the forces. External force is doing some work which is equal to change in kinetic energy. This is work energy theorem guys. Now see how I can use calculus method to solve it. You know that guys, w can be written as integration of f dot dx. So f I have written m into a, I can write f as m into a. This a I can write guys dv by dt into dx. What you know that dx by dt is v, dx by dt is basically v. V is equal to dx by dt. You all know that guys, rate of change of displacement is velocity. So guys, I have written this dx by dt is v. So I have written this is mv dv, and taking the proper limit v initial to v final, I know that the integration of v dv is nothing but v square by 2. So I wrote that m v square by 2 integration v initial to v final. So that is guys, m is equal to half of w is equal to half of m v final square minus v initial square. That is half m v final square is final kinetic energy. This term is final kinetic energy guys, and this term is initial kinetic energy, half mu vi square. So change in kinetic energy is total work done. This is work energy theorem. Now guys, power also can be written as dw by dt. Rate of change of work done can be defined as power. Now guys, suppose I have a ball at initial height yi, and finally it is going to y final and here. So guys, I can write delta u is equal to minus of mgy minus, because guys, work done actually against the gravity, so mg is acting downward and this is acting up, displacement is towards upward. So the guys, that's why I written minus mg. And why this I have minus taken, that I will discuss when I will discuss work energy chapter. So that is minus minus plus, so mg constant, take it out, integration of dy is y initial to y final. So delta u is equal to mg y final minus y initial. So guys, now in center of mass for continuous bodies, x center of mass can be written as, for continuous body x center of mass can be written as integration of x dm upon integration of dm. So integration of dm is m only, so 1 by m, take it out, and integration of x dm. Y center of mass integration of y dm upon integration of dm, that is 1 by m integration of y dm. Now guys, very important point which I am going to discuss here right now, and this will help you to understand the physics very simply, and all the concept make very interesting if you understand this logic. So rod, ring, disc, hollow sphere and solid sphere, hollow cone and solid cone, center of mass and moment of inertia calculation, we require the application of calculus. So how we use calculus method to solve this thing guys? So I have taken a rod. You have to calculate moment of inertia of this rod or center of mass of this rod guys. Okay, moment of inertia or center of mass you have to calculate. Suppose guys, I have taken this axis about which this rod is rotating. So I have taken a length at a distance x, dx I have taken. So this I have shown in diagram. At a distance x, I have taken a strip of thickness dx. I know that guys, L length having mass m, unit length having mass m by L, then this unit length mass is denoted by lambda. So lambda is equal to mass per unit length. So dm is can be written as guys lambda into dx, because if you multiply it by dx, this length and length cancel out, so mass remaining. So dm can be written as lambda dx. Now guys, whatever you have to calculate, if you have to calculate integration of x dm, so you can simply say that guys, x into lambda which is m by L into dx, m by L into dx, and now integrate it. So you get the value of center of mass also. If you have to calculate moment of inertia can be written as I square, I is equal to r square dm. So r is nothing but x square guys, and dm is m by L into dx. So when you write this is x square integration is x cube by 3, and putting the limit, since this m by L, 1 by L will cancel out, so this will be becomes ml square by 12. This type of things will come in rotational dynamics topic. Okay, now guys, if you have to calculate moment of inertia or center of mass of this ring, so what in this ring, rod, hollow sphere, solid sphere, what things you have to consider, that I want to cover some portion here. So guys, at an angle theta, you have taken d theta and a strip of thickness, let it be r d theta, a strip of length r d theta. So guys, can I say that mass is how much? Entire mass is m and length is pi r. So L length means having mass, there I can say that pi r, length having mass m, unit length having mass m by pi r. This is also guys lambda. So lambda into d x, what is dx here guys? R into d theta. No? So I have written m by pi r into r d theta. This r and r cancel out, so this will becomes m by pi into d theta. Similarly guys, You can if you know that the integration of x dm upon integration of dm for center of mass, and integration of r square into dm for moment of inertia calculation, because you know dm, so you can simply write these things, so guys. Okay, now for disk I will take a ring at a radius r of thickness dr, guys. This thickness dr and a ring of radius small r. Now guys, I know that for this sigma is required. So three things you have to keep in mind, guys: lambda, sigma and rho. Lambda you will take for a rod, or you can take for ring. Sigma you will take for disk or hollow sphere or cylinder. This you will take for solid sphere. So solid sphere I'm writing SS, and solid cone. So guys, these things you should keep in mind. Lambda is mass per unit length, sigma is mass per unit area, and rho is mass per unit volume. This you have to keep in mind. So guys, for disk I will take sigma, mass per unit area. So mass upon area is pi r square by 2 na? Because this is half the ring. Now guys, half the disk also. So this ring area is pi r dr. How we can calculate the area of the ring? Make this ring at straight. So this circumference is pi into r na, guys, and thickness is dr na. So pi r dr is the area. Or you can calculate the above ring radius is pi r plus dr whole square minus pi r square. So pi I have taken common, r square and this r square cancel out. This becomes 2r dr plus dr whole square. Since dr is very small, neglect this term. Sorry, this is pi by 2 na, because area is 1 by 2. Then this 2 and 2 cancel. So pi r dr. This I have done here, guys. This I have done here. 2 and 2 cancels, because this dr square neglected, r square and r square cancel out. So the term remaining 2 pi r dr. This is area of the ring which we have considered here. This area of the ring is pi r dr, guys. Okay. Now you know that impulse can be written as integration of ft dt, because force into time is impulse. Now if you take the proper limit initial to final, you get the value of impulse. Now guys, moment of inertia, so I have already discussed r square dm. Torque can be written as rate of change of angular momentum. Angular momentum L is written as r cross p. Now guys, what is torque? Torque gives you rotational effect of force. Rotational effect of force can be calculated by torque, and torque is rate of change of angular momentum, guys. Now in gravitation, Kepler's second law can be derived by calculus. So see, these are the application in just mechanics I have discussed, guys. The problem like with what speed should a rocket be fired upward so that it never returns to earth can be solved using integration, guys. Okay. Now SHM we have already discussed, y is equal to a sin omega t. Actually guys, you know that acceleration is equal to minus omega square into x. This acceleration can be written as d2x by dt square is equal to minus omega square into x. If you solve this differential equation, the root is solution will come y is equal to a sin omega t plus minus phi, or like that. So when you see this equation, and this is equation of simple harmonic motion. Even in today's class I have discussed y is equal to a sin kx minus omega t or plus omega t or omega t plus minus kx. Define the wave equation. For analysis of these all equation, you have to use differential calculus. Like if you differentiate, you get velocity of the wave. If you velocity of the particles with which particle is moving, and if you differentiate again, you get acceleration of the particle. Even time period calculation can be done with the help of integral method, that I will tell you how, guys, we will do these things. In fluid mechanics or fluid dynamics especially, velocity of flux can be calculated actually with the help of this integral calculus method, or you can say that, especially if I mention velocity of flux uses some concept of differential calculus for maximize the range and maximum height. Actually guys, these things I have already discussed in my YouTube lecture, so you can see that velocity of efflux is one of the important concept there also. So there are many more applications, guys, which we will discuss time to time on this topic. So I suggest you see this video carefully, and this will help you to understand physics better. So thank you everyone.